Taxes, CPAs, and the big beautiful bill, which is now law as of July 4th, 2025. I'm here on the third of a four-part series with Jim Oliver, a dear friend, also managed over $700 million on Wall Street. Now's in Main Street with real estate, insurance, and a whole variety of differences. We're going to talk about the lies and why you overpay a tax. I call it the unconscious pain. Let's listen in.
They didn't have $25 million net worth. They had $25 million cash, right? And she's like, well, to make sure we don't run out of money, And I was like, in what world are you running out of money? You spend $500,000 a year. Like, how are you running out of money? But she held on to that. And I said, okay, so let's make the plan to where there's no way you can run out of money. And so I started using just logic of, how about if we spent 33% of what we earned last year, just the money working. The money's your workers now. That 25 million plus everything else you have, those are your workers, right? Your workers earned $2 million last year. Okay, so if we only spent a third of it, would you be comfortable that we would take the other 2/3 and we would reinvest it and you would just make more and more workers? So I think it's just, you got to go back to the logic, acknowledge the emotion and then go to the logic. Right? And don't poo the emotion and throw it out. It's valuable, but we also have to balance it with logic. And the logic is, in that case, they were not going to run out of money. Unless the bank could have frozen it, the IRS could have taken it, a market crash would have made them make another emotional decision and get out at the worst possible time.
Yeah, that's exactly. I always say, numbers don't lie, people do.
Yeah. So. Well, you said something about CPAs, and I think this is really interesting. And there's two types of CPAs. Most of them fall in the herd category. If you come to them with something innovative, they're going to say, no, I don't think you should do that. They're going to give you reasons. The IRS may audit you. Okay. And what most people don't know is it costs $60 to go to tax court, right? And that's when they start negotiating. And you shouldn't be afraid of that, right? And if you have a good tax team, my tax team is up my, okay, send me this. And I figure, hey, I send it all to you. You're the coming up with the strategy. I don't have to keep track of anything. If I get audited, I'm bringing you in there. You're handing them stuff. The CPA, they know that if they tell you to do something, the oil and gas play, and for some reason it doesn't work out, or it's not what you thought it was, or that you were going to fire them. So their safest path is to make you right down the middle, straight down the middle, pay your full tax burden and be a good slave. That's their safest thing. The innovative CPA, and it's really not even fair to call them a CPA, but a tax strategist.
Yeah, I call them a tax strategist. Yep.
They have the confidence, right? They're like, yeah, I've done this a million times. I've researched this. I've educated myself. I work in these teams. If you need a tax attorney, we got that. If you need this, you even hear people saying, we'll guarantee if you get audited, you're good for this strategy or that strategy, because they know more that person that's just sitting there as a CPA and filling out tax forms. Yeah. If somebody thinks that just the basic CPA is good for them, they're still in the herd anyway, because when you go out and you create value for other people and you are an entrepreneur, business owner, real estate, that's creating value. You're creating homes, you're creating businesses, you're providing value. When you do it on your own, you want to keep every dollar that you can. And I didn't write the IRS code, but I want people on my team that know it and know how to use it.
And I call ours tax strategist versus CPA just to create some distinction. And I created a word called forecast forward. So to be in our teams, you will meet with them quarterly and they're looking at your forecast forward, meaning how much you're going to make. Are you going to come in? I have a woman right now, she did 320 last year. She's on track to do $1 million this year. Nice. So she needs more corporate structure. She needs more investment. She needs to make and invest. And the strategist, meaning the tax person, is looking forward to the end of 20 2025 for her already, gearing her up for different options. And the bonus depreciation, as you know, has just been God's greatest gift to the tax code. It's
Absolutely.
like, IRS. I mean, it's really thanks Trump, but it's fascinating. But our teams, when the big beautiful bill came out July 4th, we were on Zoom meetings with our different tax teams from July 7th on, and haven't stopped talking about how to implement that and how to put it in your life. Because the other thing too, I think they have confidence because they're actually business owners. They're not just the CPA with a label. They've actually done this. They've owned companies. They have their own fund. They run family offices. Like I always tell my clients, stay with your CPA if you want, but if they don't do any of the strategies we, encourage you to do or educate you to do, you're just going to be back in the same boat. It's interesting. It's a fascinating one to me. Listen, to you out there, if you have any questions, go to askloral.com, AskLoral, ask questions, make a request, and even if that's Jim, we'll make sure we get it over to him. But continue on. Let's do one more lie, and then let's move to the little bit of the health side, because I think you and I are both into that, and the lies over there are just as drastic.
Yeah, again, that Wall Street is safe. That over time, you just put money in your 401k. Like, let me just stop there. Because if somebody said, wait a minute, my 401k, this is like my greatest asset or my whatever, right? And let me just ask you 3 questions, not about 401ks, not about anything, but are taxes going up or down? Up. It's math, right? It's math. If you look at Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and the debt, taxes have to go up. All right, so that's the first question. The second question is the dollars that are in your pocket, are they worth more today or in the future?
Today.
Okay. When I was a kid, I'm much older than you, but when I was a kid, I could buy 5 candy bars for $1. Now I can't even buy one. Right. So the dollars in my pocket are always worth more than in the future because of inflation and the government debasing our money. So the last question is, this is a farming question I grew up in LA, so this was hard for me. No, I'm just kidding. Would you rather pay tax on the seed or on the harvest? The little amount or the big amount?
Oh, the seed for sure.
The seed. So 401ks, IRAs, all of those Wall Street instruments, which they were designed to bail Wall Street out in the late 60s, early 70s, when they were in receivership, and their great government partners bailed them out with the IRA, then the 401k, is all of those things, they violate the questions that the audience just answered in their head, right? Because the government is going to tax you when you start taking that money out, and they won't tell you at what rate. You would never, Loral, invest in anything if you didn't understand the tax consequences.
But everybody does. In fact, it's amazing how many people do real estate at the level they do real estate with no tax strategy. It didn't even occur to them. It's like, how does it not occur to you? Or even business owners want to sell and have no idea of the variety of ways to sell to keep your capital gains down. I
love when people say, I don't want to do seller finance. Why? You don't want to triple your cash flow? I mean, I can show you how to triple your cash flow. Instead of taking that lump sum and putting it in Wall Street and living off of X%, I can show you how to amortize your value that you created over your lifetime. And if you want to sell your business, and you're going to triple your cash flow. And you're going to reduce your taxes. But the thing that's funny is a few years ago, this is during campaign when Donald Trump was running for president. And I don't care if you love him or hate him. Okay. But I was walking by this TV at a friend's house, and it was like the Today Show. And they said, Donald Trump is a terrible businessman. He lost over $1 billion in the last 10 years. And I thought, oh no. The Today Show is going to tell everybody about depreciation. And I don't want everybody to know that, because then maybe they'll change it. Like, I started to get concerned. No, they just wanted to bash down Donald Trump. But the whole thing is that he knows the tax code. And again, I don't care if you love him or hate him. The reason he doesn't want to show you his tax, I don't want to show you my tax returns either. I don't want everybody knowing these things, right? I mean, that's the herd. I don't want the herd breaking out of the herd. I need the herd in the herd.
I was asked early in my career, well, what if it actually all worked out and people became entrepreneurs and there weren't such a thing as jobs? I'm like, the herd has got too much momentum and there's too many of them. And I've said this even when I started my career, like early with Bob Proctor and Ron LeGrand and all the boys who I, took the stages with. It's like, I could do this to the day I die, which I probably will, because what else would you do? I love to do it. And Bob worked till the day he would die too. Not because I want to work, because I love this. And even then, I'm barely going to crack the code. I'm barely going to even make a dent in the herd mentality because it is so driven and so intense. And then when you look at the healthcare, which I'm going to make a pivot to that, again, most of them, they rather live sick. They have no idea about alternative medicines or, I give myself shots, right? Peptide, the new stuff. And people are like, you give yourself a needle? Oh, I'd rather die than do that. It's like, well, I look at them and say, well, you're going to.
You're going to.
You're going to, because you got to do something more than just the herd norm in there too.
If you go into my bathroom, I have it's a makeup refrigerator, okay? But it has my peptides in there. It has my hormone therapy in there. If you go in my refrigerator, in my pantry, there's no junk food. It's funny. So what for me was frustrating is when I was married, I couldn't really control what I ate all the time, right? And my ex-wife was, well, just eat in moderation. Well, no, I don't want Cheetos at all. Like, I don't even want them in the house. So I have like all these different, like your tax team, I have a health team. I have a trainer. I have a hormone doctor. I have a nutritionist, and I need it to be lame proof. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to go to each jar, open it up and take this up for the morning, this and then this. I need it in a baggie, right? And I pay somebody to do this. I need it in a baggie, and I need them to put it on my phone and tell me, oh, it's time to take your supplements. But I can tell you that I do the DexaFit scan, right? And my biological age is going down. I'm 60 years old. I have abs. If my camera was better, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not taking my shirt off. Don't worry, Laurel.
I mean, nothing surprises me as I'm getting
started. But my point is that everything that we are told about food and health and aging, because it has to be anti-aging. Why? It's not anti-aging. I mean, I get to decide what 60 looks like, feels like. I feel better than 35-year-olds. I hit the golf ball further. I'm stronger. I work out 5 to 6 days a week. And you know what? Hormones are so screwed up because of our food. My doctor, she's a badass, right? Dr. Mel Irvine in Estero, Florida, she sees women that come in there in their 20s that have a vagina tissue of 70-year-old women, right? And she says 70-year-old women that have the vagina tissue of 20-some-year-old women. Okay, so why would a 20-some-year-old, and they have men that have testosterone under 100 in their 20s. Okay. For anybody that knows that, they should be like 900 to 1200 at that age, right? It's because of our food. Spinach had 13 times the nutrients in 1930 than it does now, almost 100 years later. Our food is destroyed. Our soil is destroyed. You have to take supplements. You have to take hormones. You have to eat good food, the best food you can find. That should be your passion. Where do I get good whole food? Not processed crap, not crackers, chips. That stuff will destroy your heart faster than anything. And then something that nobody talks about in my house, my room right over there is my restoration room. I have a infrared sauna that has red light. I have a kick-ass massage chair every day. I'm restoring. It's my restoration room is what I call it. I'm restoring. So it's like I get up at 4:30 every morning. I love to get up at 4:30 every morning. I work out every morning at 5 a.m. So
in addition to the food, we'll just say with the food, it's such a dominant just marketing. I mean, you say find good food, you'd have to search. I mean, it's so opposite. It's so opposite of what we need. And like I said earlier, the alternatives for the healthiest and the wealthiest, you have to go looking. You have to lean in. You got to learn about it, understand how it's right for you. But to walk away from most of these grocery stores, most people won't do it. They don't know how to do it.
They don't know how to do that, but it just takes a little bit of Google, a little bit of Chat GPT, and you'll find your place. In Naples, Florida, I can go get good food. I mean, nothing against Whole Foods. If I'm going to go to a grocery store, it's probably going to be Whole Foods or Sprouts in my area. It's getting good food and understanding what the goal is. I try to, my friends that say, well, Jim, what's the first step that I did? I say, just eat 200 grams of protein a day. And the reason I say it, because people need things to be simple, is if you eat 200 grams of protein a day, and I'm talking about for a man, like it's like at least 1 gram per lean body mass. If you eat 200 grams of protein a day, you will not be hungry. I guarantee you will not be hungry. And you won't have a lot of room for that other crap, right? And so I kind of find it's kind of like a treasure hunt. Because if you've ever had vegetables that are right out of somebody's garden, versus even if you buy them at Whole Foods. I don't care where you buy them. They taste totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, I could sit and eat cherry tomatoes right out of the garden over potato chips all day long because they're so flavorful. You just have to make these incremental changes in your money, in your thinking, in your health. And over time, it's not forever, but like 3 or 4 years, you will be a totally different person. Your taste buds will change. You won't want to eat the stuff that's not going to make you feel good. And you learn what feeling good feels like. And you're like, oh, crap, wait a minute. You know, my friends would tell me, wait till you get to be 50, you know, you're going to have aches and pains. Guess what? When I have an ache or pain, I got a massage therapist. I've got this, I've got that. I have people that will take care of that pain and it'll be gone.
So a lot to talk about. We have health and wealth in this conversation, so take notes. Make sure you're here 5 days a week. Click that notification button and subscribe. Clearly, share it with 5 or 10 people and share this interview. I think a lot of you are going to get an absolute surprise out of some of the lies that you have been living and breathing. If you have any questions during this interview or in general, just go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.